Mike Hamilton at Lithia Toyota. If you're wondering what Toyota gets the best fuel economy, what has the highest EPA rated average, behind me is the vehicle that's been rated at 133 miles MPGe per gallon. Behind me is a Prius Prime. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So when Toyota redesigned the Prius for 2016 with the new TNGA platform, where they started putting shareable parts throughout their world line together, the TNGA became the first vehicle, which was a 2016 Toyota Prius. Well, 2017, Toyota brought out a plug-in hybrid version of this vehicle, which is what's in front of me here, which is a Prius Prime. This is a 21 certified, so it is available if anyone is interested in it. Anyways, it's still #1 overall fuel economy vehicle that Toyota builds for the US market at 133 MPGe. My brother owns one of these and drives about 90 miles round trip a day, and says at best he fills up about once a month, when he's really good on the fuel and not taking extra trips with the car. And even on long trips is seen as good as 79 miles a gallon. That's between his electric going up from, he lives in Orlando area and goes up to the up the coast there to North Carolina for some family and things like that with his wife's family. So anyways, he's getting really good fuel economy. He says about 25 miles on electric, so 20 to 25 is its electric range before it'll kick into a standard hybrid mode. And it's the first one to get a bunch of things on this thing. It's the first one that had quad lights on it. Let me show you that. So Toyota more than likely was competing against the Teslas of the day. Matter of fact, as far as price point, you're not going to touch this on a new one if you could get yourself one. They originally came out calling these they had a plus, a premium, and an advanced. So now it's called the LE, the XLE, and the limited. They went to their Toyota's more traditional trim packages that they use in other vehicles like Camry, and you got that in the RAV4s and the Highlanders, and the Avalons had that. So they're using those trim packages. But right away you saw some things in it that like reminded you of Tesla, and that was these projector lights. That first North American vehicle to get that. Now got the new Toyota Crown coming along that's going to get that. You have the BZ4X, the full electric, that's got those. And so anyways, but even those vehicles, the RAV4 Prime has more electric range. Of course, BZ4X is fully electric, but their overall rating per miles per gallon that the EPA gives them is still less than this vehicle here. So you have still more range that's EPA rated by this with this vehicle. And plus, price point wise, you're really not going to come close to those other two vehicles as far as when you could buy this at the base model around $30,000, and those other ones are going to push you into the high 40s and into the 50s. This is definitely something that there's no way in the world you could ever make up the gas savings on such a difference in dollars and stuff. So you may feel like you're doing yourself good by buying yourself a full electric, but full electrics are not a deal. You're not going to save money on a full electric if you got to pay 50 grand for one. So when you could get this car still, when we had it 29-ish, maybe a little more now because it's hard to get them, and they really can't. They're having a tough time right now with hybrid batteries, but they'll get that figured out. They're bought a new plant. They're going to get it up and running. They'll be able to produce a lot of batteries, but it's just a little ways out from. But anyways, this is still for me. Like, I think this is still one of the best vehicles you could buy for bang for your buck when you could get one of these for around 30K. And if you live and work within 25 miles and have a place to plug at home or at work, you may be able to save on your gas completely. You may not have to really put back gas in at all. Even like my brother worked 90 miles commute a day and says he puts maybe gas in it once a month. So what kind of that tell you? So you definitely are going to get the fuel range. So he plugs it in at work. It's 25 miles on the way, 25 miles on the way back. and then and it uses a little bit of gas on the when he goes home. So anyways, that's but again, you could go all that driving and only get gas once a month. I have a 12-mile round commute and stuff, and I got to fill up more in my truck than he does driving way further than me, 10 times the distance than I do. So anyways, let's take a look on the inside here. Be right back. So also the design, they're all going to follow the same theme. This is one of the most air efficient vehicles out there. It has something like some coefficient of wind drag that you would see in some of the most high-end Lamborghinis and Ferraris and some of these supercars, that it could cut through the wind and be ultra aerodynamic. But this was one of the first ones to get a large screen in the car. Like before they started doing 12-inch screens and now Tundras with 14-inch screens, they had this in the Prius. So the mid-grade level and the premium level of this vehicle gave you a 11.7-inch screen, which is still one of the biggest screens that's available. This is a synthetic Softex leather package in this one here, these all had kind of standard radio. Some of it not having dual power seats is to cut down on the weight of these vehicles, so that's part of what hybrids are. Coming to the back, I mean, it's a better fit than a Corolla hybrid, less fit than a Camry hybrid. But one of the first ones give you USBs back there, and so on there. Anyways, also these first ones came out, the first edition. This was a hard center console here. It's only a 4-seater. Now it's a 5-seater, and you have cup holders and the armrests there when nobody's in the middle, but you can carry 5 people. My brother has the first edition, which is only a 4-seater and not a 5-seater. Then this is where you have your charging port for your power there. Now it's just a slow charge here, so like if it had a full discharge, it takes maybe 6 to 8 hours or something to charge back up. I think 6 hours or something, my brother says. On the regular Trickle Charger it gives you. You get one camera on this. Is this the backup camera? This is the XLA, so this is a mid-grade one here. So again, after the first year or two, they call them again Plus, Premium, and Advanced. They went to LE, XLE, and Limited. And now the back sits higher here because this is where we have the battery. It's a bigger battery, so it's a 11 point something kilowatt hour battery, which is smaller than the RAV4 Prime, which is something around 18 point something kilowatt hours. And again, gets 20 to 25 miles of range versus you could get up to 42 miles range. This is your little Trickle Charger that comes complimentary with the vehicle. Now, I think there is a level 2 charger that you can get with this and installed in your house. They did a lot of stuff. You're going to see things like this is real carbon fiber that's in this hatch to like lighten up the weight. That hood there's a lot of panels on this that are aluminum. And to get that weight down as much as possible. So and then this is the only one with the Prius. It has this kind of swoosh, like this concaved section through here. I wouldn't want to break that window. It's probably very expensive to replace. You never have back windows break out unless it's on purpose. Anyways, some of these things here with the light coming across, these are some of the first ones to give you these real streaky tail lights and stuff that were and brake lights on here that now is becoming very popular with the Toyota brand and the models where the lights coming out like this new crown. The lights all come all the way across the back. Same with your like BZ4X. Those vehicles are doing that. So you have your fuel door on this side. If I remember right, something about 11.9 gallons of fuel is what it takes. So you say my brother fills up it like once a month, and that's only all he's putting in, and I'm filling up roughly about the same, and my truck takes 32 gallons. So I'm spending 32 gallons for a 12-mile round trip commute, and he's spending that for a 90-mile round trip commute. So tell me that you should see the difference there. And if you're conscious about the environment, like the footprint that you're putting on the environment with that least amount of fill versus the fill I'm using, but I have a travel trailer and need something that could tow. And anyways, until they get the battery thing figured out, and prices too, because like Ford Lightnings are not cheap. So anyways, coming into the back here, let's just take a look at here. We have seat pockets, so the armrest. when I get in here where the seat would have been back for me because I just drove it across the street. And yeah, my knees are butted up against here, but I can sit with my knees like this, and I'm relatively comfortable in here. The air conditioning's coming all the way to the back, and I'm feeling it real good. Things they could do is upgrade the lighting here. I hear they're going to do a new Prius. I hear there's a remake on the way, and so that's something they're going to be rebuilding pretty soon. Let's head up to the front. One of the things I was surprised about in this level is, being this is a 21 and only a year old, they don't have blind spots on this one here. That's a surprise there, and it doesn't look like it also has turn signal indicators at all either. So there's some things that this thing's lacking, but in the past it was also advanced for its day too when it first came out. Power windows, power mirrors, power locks. We have our auto dimming high beam with our Toyota safety sense. This is a real basic Toyota safety sense. We have our timer there for our charger, gas door release there. And then gauge dimmers and traction control off. This does come with a power seat with power lumbar. No Prius has dual power seats, only a single power seat. And the lowest level, the LE only gives you like an 8-inch infotainment versus this is the 11.7 and basically 12-inch infotainment. Let me turn that air down a little bit because me getting my mic. And this was one of the first vehicles too to give you stuff that was advanced for its day. This, so what they call the heads-up display was always the hologram you see in your windshield, but this was also known as a heads-up display. Originally, first going in these Priuses, this used to be green and pretty bland, and then Toyota came up with this color screen here to give it a lot better definition and give it, make it look better, and tells you where your shift modes are on here. And right here you can see the fuel economy on this one here, 54.1 miles per gallon that this user was getting. It doesn't seem like they're probably using their electric very much unless they had some long commuting. It does have a few miles for its age, so being a year old, and it's already 23,611, so it's like they drove it pretty good. But then you have a digital miles per hour on here. We have all kinds of information on here. There's a charging times and histories, energy monitor. You have this screen on a couple different, on both screens here. Oh, this is your eco score, so it's a game you can play each time you get in the vehicle. So last time this was driven, it got a 76 out of 100. That's a pretty cool thing on here, kind of a Geek Squad type thing. Compass coordinates, audio sources. You have your climate controls up there. It tells you what you're doing, your lane departure, and adaptive cruise control screener on here. No message there's a problem with the vehicle, tell you what's wrong with the vehicle. And then we go back to these other screens again. So we got a lot of nice stuff on here, but again, this was like the kind of the selling thing of it at its time. This was pretty cool in 2017 when this came out. There was nothing like this with Toyota at the time, so this became like the nicest and best screen. It's getting dated now, it's 5 years old. But you had a really large map on it, but when you did the backup, you only had the little tiny dinky part of there, like versus the Tundra's spinning around this way where it's sideways 14 inches and it fills up the entire screen. So that was something that they had wasn't very good. But then you had XM radio and integrated maps on this, and this was cool. You had this little your info screen, your project for your bringing in your cell phone or Apple CarPlay, and those things here, eco, and then you could get the again, the energy monitor was on this thing here, and telling you what's going on with the vehicle. Going back to the back here, it works like a cell phone, and then traffic and weather updates on this here are available in markets that have HD radio signals, so you could use this. No data available, so I don't know, this thing's maybe not set up, but I think it should have an HD weather signal in it. Climate controls touchscreen here, but I like the thing, unlike some of these new electrics, you don't even have any hard buttons, and it's all these haptic things. You gotta, like, you go into a Tesla, you can't even open the dang glove box. You gotta go through the screen and go through 3 menus to open up a glove box. Same with your windows. You don't have regular buttons for the windows. There's nothing in front of you. There's no no miles per hour. It's over here to the right, which is goofy in my opinion. I don't think it's really that good. I don't like it. And you know, something where you're getting some buttons and things with the BZ4X is something more that I think buyers that are going to come out of gas vehicles or from a regular vehicle into a hybrid vehicle or right into an electric, going to want that crossover vehicle now, and will still want some of the features that they were used to in the vehicles that they had been driven. On here, like this is one thing that's different on these vehicles. You have drive modes, so you have a different modes. You have a normal, so that goes between eco and sport depending on how you get on the pedal. Power, it puts it like, it makes it zippy, also good for driving up in the mountains, so you don't have to mash the pedal, get the power out of it. And eco is just the opposite. It's going to shift at lower RPMs to give you the best fuel economy. And also this is regenerative braking, so although it's got that larger hybrid battery in this, it does regenerate some of the electricity by braking, so you can recover some of the electricity. And you know, so I think my brother gets that because he gets in the stop and go traffic. It does have an electric vehicle mode. Again, this could go 20 to 25 miles on electric range depending on your driving habits. Some of the nicer features is dual stage heated seats and has wireless charging pad for your cell phone. So that was available even back in as early as 17 in this one here. So that was one of the first ones I ever have the Qi wireless in a Toyota. Coming up to the top, this was added in later on. SOS is basically OnStar for Toyota, does emergency services, roadside assistance, and stolen vehicle locator. It needs to get LED lights, but normal dome lights and things like that. You have your mirrors, vanity lights, and the extenders to get that gap that always gets in the sun there. It does have a basic Toyota safety sense, and this is the regular dimming, manual dimming mirror. If you get the limited, I believe you're going to get the auto dimming review mirror with garage door home link memory sets on that too. Again, Mike Hamilton and Lithia Toyota. Still number one as far as, like, in my opinion, if you're just looking for the best bang for your buck. I mean, this is one of the best that Toyota has if you could get one. Unfortunately, we're in a really tough time. You'd probably have to look at the pre-owned market like this one to get your hands on one at this point. I think because one of the sales guys said he looked at this Primes across the nation and it was like virtually nothing, like 14 throughout the United States. So they just can't build them, unfortunately, at this time. But I mean, there's definitely pre-owned ones out there like this one here. That's just a year-old, certified, going to have extended warranty. Again, if you're looking for one of these, looking for something fuel economy, here you go. It's sitting right here. And again, like when they do build these again, something that's, you could start around the 30,000 mark and get tremendous fuel economy to where maybe you only put a tank of fuel in a month, depending on how you're driving it, and save a lot of money, because you're not going to get your money back if you got to spend 20,000 more for a full electric vehicle, as they're basically averaging 45, 50 or more now. So anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.